If you guys want to win a copy of the Ultimate Edition of FIFA 19 worth around $100, all you need to do is leave a like on the video, leave a comment down below and subscribe to my channel. Do those three things, that'll enter you into the giveaway and I'll be sending a copy to one of you guys when the game's released. Hey guys, Heathway here, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the FIFA 19 beta with you guys, as I was very lucky to be given the chance to play the Ultimate Team version of the beta by one of you guys who hit me up on Twitter and let me use your account. I'll leave a link down below to the guy who actually let me go on his account, as it is down to him that I can bring you guys this video. But I'm going to be talking about everything I like about the gameplay and the game in general, and everything I dislike about it, and those things may be patched and improved upon by the time the full game is released, as the beta isn't a finalized version of FIFA 19. But I'll be talking about the gameplay, graphics, all the little features and details within the menus on Ultimate Team that you guys won't have really seen or heard about unless you've had a chance to play the beta. So if you guys do enjoy the video, if you do, don't forget to leave a like on it. Also, if you guys are new around here, don't forget to subscribe. And if you've got any questions about the beta that I don't answer within this video, let me know down below and I'll try and answer as many as possible in my next video. Without further ado, let's go on into it. So I've got a load of bullet points written down on my phone right here, covering the positives and negatives of various aspects of FIFA 19. First up, in terms of gameplay, the defensive AI is massively nerfed. You can no longer just hold down A and let the computer defend for you. It's a lot more manual, it's harder to get used to, but it's more skill based, and that is definitely a good thing in my opinion. We've also got much better dribbling. If you've got someone like Messi or Neymar, who is an unbelievable dribbler in real life and has a very high dribbling stat, they will feel like that in game. Their touch is very close to their feet, they have really good control, and dribbling in general just feels a lot different, and it looks more realistic too, especially with the body movement of players. Nowadays, if you do a couple of body feints or step overs, it looks way more realistic, and it is very effective, and from my experience so far, has probably been the most effective skill on the game. Just simple body feints and then changing direction is very effective, as is the new fake shot, where you can actually do a fake shot and kind of feint to stop or maybe cut back on yourself and do a Cruyff turn, but instead you carry on going. You kind of get a speed boost, and it's really effective out wide on the wing. We've also got much better touch and control. There's a huge variety of new animations that have been added into the game. So nowadays you can control the ball on your head, various parts of your chest. You can jump way up into the air and control it on your feet. You've got a lot of new touches and ways to trap the ball and keep it under control, and just by holding down the right stick, you can flick the ball up. No matter what style skill moves you have, you can flick the ball up and you can just juggle it along, controlling it with your head, chest, knees, feet. It's really cool, and I've scored some really nice goals doing it, and you can just do a lot of really cool improvised skills. Also, if the ball's coming towards you, you can just flick it up with your first touch. So if a defender's sliding in, you can flick it over them, kind of like an Okocha flick, but with a lot more control, and keep possession, and then you can just dribble past players. You can kind of just knock the ball past people without it even touching the ground, just juggling along, which is really cool, and has probably been my favourite and most fun thing really to do so far on FIFA 19. We've also got passing, which has changed quite a lot now. It's a little bit harder, it's more manual, just like the defending, more skill based, and I think that is definitely a good thing. We've also got pace. Players who are quick actually feel quick. You're no longer going to have someone like Ronaldo or Gareth Bale getting caught up with by Per Mertesacker. Nowadays, if you're quick, you're going to beat someone slow, which is how it should be. We've also got custom tactics, which have been massively overhauled. That's a really good part of the gameplay. You've got way more customization. You've got the ability to really change how your team plays very easily. You can change the width your team plays, the depth, the speed of the build up you have. You've got different kind of ways of pressing. You can press when you lose possession, press when someone takes a heavy touch, and you can then change those throughout the game just by pressing the D-pad. Loads of things you can go in depth on that are really going to change how you play. And then finally, in terms of the positives of gameplay, we've got goal kicks, which have been quite overhauled now. You can smash them really far, and it's actually very effective to hit a long driven goal kick, which you can then just head down. And I've actually got through on goal a few times just by hitting a big diagonal goal kick out wide, picking someone out. You can be very accurate with your goal kicks, and you can hit them a lot further than you could on FIFA 18. In terms of the negatives, shooting, I don't really think it's a massive negative. It's more just me getting used to the game, but I've seen it with a lot of people saying shooting is a lot harder. You will find yourself missing a lot of sitters in front of goal. You can just smash it over the bar sometimes, and that is because of the new timed finishing system, which is taking quite a bit of time to get used to. It will probably be the same when you start playing FIFA 19. You can actually miss a lot of shots, especially first time shots, headers, volleys, even just a ball along the box on the ground, you can still miss. But I think in terms of finishing, driven finishes have been toned down a little bit. They're less overpowered, and finesse shots seem to be quite effective, at least from my experience so far, from playing about 20 games so far on the beta. Keepers are still quite dodgy. You will find them letting in some pretty random shots, really, that you wouldn't expect them to let in. That just go through them, but that will probably get patched over the course of the game. Extra time, this is a small thing, sometimes goes on a lot longer than it says. It actually shows the exact extra time now in minutes as it counts down. So if you've got 2 minutes extra time, it will show those 2 minutes counting down. But I had a game where I had 2 minutes extra time, and the game went on until 97.5 minutes, which is just way too long, and I actually conceded the winning goal from my opponent within that time, which was really annoying. So I'm not really too sure why the time sometimes goes on for too long, but occasionally you will find that happening. And then finally, we've had some very, very soft fouls. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you will have seen I got a straight red with Umtiti for literally just running along next to Griezmann, and I kind of pushed him off the ball. You know, just kind of a slight shoulder push, something that isn't even a foul in normal football, and even just generally in FIFA. It was a straight red, and I have no clue why. And that's happened a few times. Really, really soft fouls, just kind of being quite physical. I mean, not even just giving away a foul, sometimes you get a booking, and in that case I actually got a straight red. So a few things like that, I'm sure they will be patched and improved upon by the time the full game is released. Next up, we've got graphics, and although I've noted down a couple of bullet points right here, there isn't much to talk about, as graphically the game hasn't really changed that much in comparison to FIFA 18. It's more so in terms of gameplay where we've seen drastic change and improvement, and I think that's what's needed. EA have got the focus right this year. Gameplay is the most important part of any FIFA title, and if the gameplay is fun, people will play it. On FIFA 18, the gameplay wasn't fun and enjoyable, and because of that, a lot of people stopped playing the game. Graphically, it already looks really good, and there isn't much that can be improved upon, especially with the engine EA are currently using. So I think they've got the right kind of balance right now, and they do need to focus more on the gameplay, and I think they have managed to tackle that and improve it in FIFA 19, which is really, really good. But in terms of graphics, the crowd looks more realistic. You've got more banners, flags, and more chants. You will see that a lot more when playing with a club in kickoff or career mode or anything like that, as opposed to Ultimate Team. You will see massive flags of iconic players from a club's history. I think you've got Del Piero, for example, at Juventus, with a massive banner of him in the crowd. That looks really cool, and you will see a few things like that, especially if you play career mode or any offline mode. On Ultimate Team though, you see that to a lesser extent. Also, new player faces, as you would expect. A notable example is Paul Pogba. You may have seen some pictures on Twitter, some screenshots. He looks really, really realistic. He's got a white streak along the side in his hair, and his hairstyle in general looks really, really realistic and clean, and you will see that with a lot of new players. They've had updated faces, and also people who had quite old, outdated faces, or maybe just didn't even have a proper scanned player face. A lot of them have now got quite a realistic looking face that's been scanned, and that adds to the general realism of the game, which is always going to be good. Players also now show emotion and more facial expressions. If they go in for a tackle and they're kind of angry and aggressive, you see that in their face. If they've just been booked and they're upset, you also see that in their face. You see their facial expressions. If they've won a trophy or just scored, you see kind of passion, happiness, and just that kind of face of jubilation and celebration, which you would expect. They're happy, they're smiling, shouting, and you do see that in game, especially if you're playing an offline game mode like career mode. You will see that if you win a trophy like the Champions League, so that's quite a cool little improvement there. Also, you've got more cutscenes before kickoff. You see players walking out of the tunnel onto the pitch, the referee picking the ball up, a few little improvements and a few added details there, which again are more apparent when you play something like career mode. And then finally, we've got goal scorers. You actually see their player card with their stats and everything on screen when they score a goal next to their name, just after they've scored. And then once the game goes back to the center circle, you see the minute you score the player's name and their card on the pitch, kind of with quite a low opacity. It's just kind of laid over the pitch. You can just see it for a couple of seconds and then it fades away, which is quite cool. Say you've just scored with an icon or someone, your opponent is going to see that card on the pitch. They're going to know you've bought them. It's not an icon or something, and that is just a little cool touch there, which I quite like. And then as a negative, we've got something which will almost definitely be patched by the time the full game is released. It's just one of those little errors you often have in any beta version of any game, and that is the ball going through the net when you're not using a rectangular goal. Pretty much every game I play where I have just a smaller goal rather than a big rectangular one, the ball goes straight through the net and then kind of bounces back once it's a couple of meters behind where the net is. I think the game thinks it's a rectangular net and it isn't. It looks a little bit weird, but that will definitely get patched by the time the full game is released. Finally, moving away from gameplay and graphics, there are loads of small details, features and improvements that have been added to Ultimate Team that just make the game better as a whole. The first of which is much less lag in the menus. It just seems so much smoother, and I'm actually on holiday right now in France and I have really slow internet, but still I have no lag at all. It's so smooth when I'm trying to snipe players. It's so easy, and when I play FIFA 18 with the same internet, it's extremely slow and laggy, so that's a really nice improvement there, and it's definitely going to make sniping a lot easier. As I mean, the lag on menus, not even just for sniping, even if you're just buying players off the market, it is really annoying at times. Also, you've got more starter objectives now. I think there are like 5 or 6 different sets of them. Each one gives you a pack once you complete it, so it makes it easier now to earn coins and rewards at the beginning of the game. We've also got quicker and smoother assignment menus, so if you're opening packs or if you buy a player off the transfer market, you now just have 3 options, and that's quick sell, send all to club, or send to transfer list. You've got a button for each of those, and you can just press it and it's instantly going to do that to all of your players. It's really easy, and it may take a little bit of time to get used to, but it is so much quicker and easier to use. Now if you're opening packs maybe in a lightning round, you can spam through them so quickly, and that is a really nice improvement to the game. It also makes trading easier and quicker, especially if you're sniping. You don't want to waste too much time listing a player up. You want to get right back and snipe any players that pop up, so that is really good right there. Also, we've got small details on the cards, and this is a really small little detail, but I actually really like this. So now if you're hovering over a card in your squad menu or on the transfer market, anything like that, and you flick the right stick to the side, previously it would just show you the player's contracts, fitness, and that's about it. Nowadays, if you do that, you can see the player's weak foot, you can see their skill moves, you can see the chemistry style they've got applied to them, you can see the boost that chemistry style gives in terms of stats, loads of details. Now you don't really have to press the right stick at all unless you want to see the in-game stats of the player. You can see everything at a glance, and it makes it a lot quicker when you just want to look through the transfer market and pick a player up. So that's a really good improvement there. It's a really small detail, but it makes the game better. Also, in terms of in-game stats, if you look at those now and you've got a chemistry style applied, you will see the exact boost each of those chemistry styles give. So if you've got a Hawk chemistry style applied and that boosts pace, physical and shooting, you will see, for example, that finishing gets boosted up by 5, strength gets boosted by 5. You see all those little details, and you see which stats get boosted and by how much, and that's something we haven't had on previous FIFAs, and that's a really nice improvement. And then finally, if I can just get my bullet points list up right here, we've got more advanced filters within your club. So now you can filter by the date added of a player, so you can see the first player you added into your club, you can see the latest players you added in, which is useful if you've been opening packs and you just want to see who you packed quickly. Also, you can now filter by tradable or untradeable and by the quick sell value. Loads of little details like that make it quicker and easier and just simplify the game really when you're looking through your club. And all these features add together, as I said, to just make the game a little bit easier, less annoying, smoother, and it just generally makes a better experience. So those are the main details I've picked out so far from Ultimate Team. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below. Hopefully this video doesn't get copyright strikes, fingers crossed. If someone from EA is watching this, I'm just doing it to talk about positives and negatives of the game, and those negatives can be improved upon by you guys. I mean, if you want feedback, this video is perfect for that. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new on here, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care.